Welcome to the weekend recap of Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, the meme review, software releases, hardware releases, the websites by plebes or plebs. Drop us a like, subscribe. I don't have anything else. All right, let's go to the numbers. At the time of this recording, the block height is 697,077. The Bitcoin price 48,840. Chain rewrite days 950. Total public Lightning capacity, 2,315.26. Yeah, there you go. It's like another all-time high. Sats per dollar, 2,048. We're about to go below 2K for the sats per dollar. And the blocks to the halvening, 142,923. Now, I just want to address one of our viewers mentioned that they wanted us to find the essentially like the feeless Lightning nodes and or channels versus the feed Lightning nodes and or channels. So we're looking for it. I took a look through the dashboard. I don't see the number. If somebody else finds it, I mean, let me know, because I did not see it under any of the Lightning stats. But we are looking for it, and we're going to try to bring that to you guys, because I think that's an interesting stat too. Like, I'd want to know that too. Like, how many people are, routing for free? Because personally, I never actually, I never actually set any fees when I did have my node as a public routing node. And I think I still do have my node as public. I have the what's it called? The open port, the inbound open port. So I think it's 8,333. Anyways, I could be wrong. Anyways, who cares? Man, the numbers, they're good.
Yeah, they're really good. Phenomenal. Good. A new all-time high for Lightning, dude. I think that's the signal. Dude, is it... do you think Lightning would go I know the price, it has to follow the halvings and the mining, the hash rate and all that stuff. Okay, it's complex, right? But Lightning, on the other hand, right, there's really nothing stopping that, right? Okay. So are we seeing... I know this is speculation, of course. I'm just asking you a question, Phil. Are we seeing the beginning of something insane in the Lightning Network?
You know what? Like I was telling you I don't know if it was last week, but I've never seen this type of, I mean, again, I was saying that it also had to do with the number of Bitcoiners coming in. But yeah, I think that, I'd like to say anyways that, we're seeing this astronomical growth in Lightning because, number one, it's more mature. Okay, number two, the user experience in Lightning is much better than it was, at least when I first started, 2 or 3 years ago with it. So it becomes easier for people. I mean, when back when I first started with Lightning, which was already after the first group of people that started, like you had to do everything through the command line still. You still had to set up your node. You still had to, set everything up through the command line before you can actually get a node up and running, before you can get to the user interface. So look, now you don't even have to do that. You know what I mean? Like now you pop in the micro SD card, you power it up, it's on the network, you connect to it, and you have a web UI to step you through it. I mean, this is what people are used to, This makes it not necessarily, I hate to use the word seamless, right? Because that is such bullshit business speak, but like it's close to seamless, right? You don't notice that much of a shift in what you're doing. It's like I go to this web page and I follow these prompts. Like, that's nice and simple, and people like simplicity, so why not?
So I'm going to use a word that you don't like because it's business speak. When do you think, and I like Lightning. I love the technology, like whatever, but I'm still a first base layer type of guy. Hopefully that's going to change. And that's just because, again, I'm going to use your word. It's not seamless yet. If you were to speculate, Phil, when do you think we reach the singularity where Lightning just becomes as easy to use as the base layer?
You know what? Maybe we're like 2 years away. You know what? I'm saying we're 2 years away, but the reality is LN Strike, you don't notice a shift in what you're doing. I think that they've just offered the easiest user experience. Okay, so like if we're going to be fair, right? If we're going to be fair, you're connecting to custodial nodes when you're using it, right? That's not your node. Okay, so let's be fair, right? There's a loss if you're talking about, trade-offs and everything like that. Then I think you're trading, you're trading in some privacy, some security for using it. But in terms of the user experience, Like, you transfer money from your bank account to your LN Strike wallet, and immediately you could either transfer it on the Lightning Network or on the Bitcoin network, and the only difference is the type of address you put in. You're either throwing in an invoice or you're putting in a BTC address, and it does all the logic behind the scenes. So you know what? Maybe more mainstream, I'd say 2 years.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, 2 years.
Man, I'm so excited because I feel like that is the missing... Bitcoin is amazing, but I feel like that's the missing piece, and that is the narrative killer. That is the shitcoin narrative killer, right?
It's already there. I mean, look, it's already there, right? Remember, like when Lightning first... You know what? When Hodlonaut... started the Lightning Trust Chain, that was pretty much the funky little experiment that totally kicked off that nail in the coffin for, my coffee money. Boom, there you go. This is not just coffee money, but this is censorship-resistant money traveling all around the world without anybody able to stop it, Unless they steal it, of course, because there were some Lightning thieves.
Yeah, they were two.
I think there was 2 Lightning thieves or 3. But anyway.
I was around for that. But yeah, dude, that was phenomenal. That was history in the making, dude. And it was like
awesome.
Sending transactions all around the world to all these different countries.
24 hours a day.
24 hours a day, paying minimal fees without anyone knowing anyone, right? Is phenomenal. It was literally history. I'm definitely going to be studied in the textbooks. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily Fail. All right, everyone. We didn't just bring you one rug pull this week. We actually, and we brought, and we also showed the liquid exchange, right? That failed. So it was like a rug pull and then an exchange rug pull. And now, for your viewing pleasure, Luna Yield. Solana Yield Aggregator. That's a good word, aggregator. Anyways, rug pulls and steals almost 10 million. Aw, almost 10. You almost got there. It seems Solana has had its first rug pull after Luna Yield, a cross-chain yield aggregator, drained an estimate of 8 to 10 million from investors. And there's people sitting there going, well, that wasn't supposed to happen. No, that was the freaking use case. It's what I've told you in the past. This is the use case. The use case is the freaking rug pull. Anyways, here we go. Nearly 10 million stolen. After Luna's official website, Twitter, Telegram, and other channels were deleted, users feared that the team behind the protocol might have run away with their funds. You think? Yeah, that might be a possibility. Consequently, they tried to unstake their funds from the liquidity pools, but failed because the team had removed the liquidity. If that's not a frickin' rug pull, I don't know what is. They deleted all their social media, and they removed the liquidity, so you were screwed holding the bag. Who was it that was talking about? Was that guy Gary Tan talking about DeFi and the 13x and all the future of money shit? What a moron. Look at this. Kidding me? No, future of money. Yeah, I can totally see somebody. I can totally see some guy who just lost all of his life savings because he listened to some moron friend. I guarantee you he doesn't feel like this is the future of money right now. All right, wrapping it up with this. As Crypto Potato reported recently, Solana had been on a massive rally. Oh my gosh, no way, massive rally? 90% up in the past 7 days. Following several protocol upgrades and a $70 million crowdfunding to support the launch of its official decentralized exchange. Mango Markets. Good name. Again, with the food. They love the food.
Why food?
What's with the food in these people?
Why
food? Like
sushi, yam.
Mango Markets. They've got aggregators. They're farming yields. I don't get me wrong, but you know what? There's way too many people that wrote this code that played like I don't know, too much like one of these farming games. It's got to be the farming games. Not enough Second Life. Too much farming.
Man, listen.
So there's some farming game where people actually waste real money and buy chickens and stuff.
Farming Simulator. I've heard of it. I've heard of it. Yeah. And no, it's super legit apparently. People, I know this because it scrolls up on YouTube sometimes. I'm like, whoa, what is this? It's literally a simulator to farm. But anyways, listen.
Well, now we know where they get these ideas.
I love video games, just not that one. But. But listen, in all seriousness, dude, look, I'm going to go back to what Vitalik had to say. We covered this week, by the way. and Gary, by the way. But Vitalik, you know, the CNBC reporter was kind enough to point out, like, are you worried that Jack Dorsey is building something on top of the second layer? And Vitalik said, no, our smart contracts are very safe. They're very secure, right? Bitcoin capability only has multi-sig capability. Multi-sig capability is much better than the garbage that you have now. Why? Right? Because multiple people have multiple different keys, and hopefully you know who those people are, right? So you know who has the spending functions in that situation. Problem with smart contracts, right, and the way that they pitch them, and the reason this keeps happening, right, is that they give this sense of this contract, this code is bulletproof. In reality, it's not. You're trusting the person who wrote the smart contract, right? And you're trusting, and they're essentially God. They could do whatever they could do whatever the F they want, right? And this is what keeps happening over and over and over again. Phil, you pull up this amazing website, you know, so many times called rec.com, literally has a list. I think it's almost $1 billion of rug pulls, right? So that's not the future of money, bro. Okay? That's not how it's supposed to work. And again, and I think I've said this many times, thank you, Phil.
Never forget.
Look, some are audited, some are unaudited. Look, one Acropolis audited by 3 people, Quant Stamp, like, what are the point of audits? Seriously, serious question. It's just so stupid.
Hacked, unaudited, hacked. And it's like so funny. You see the ones that were audited, it doesn't even make a difference that they were audited. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, man.
Who cares? That's like a little gold star next to your name. You still suck. Somebody just put a sticker next to your name. Like nothing changed.
And look, the reason like we bring this up is because, you know, most Bitcoiners I've talked to, including Phil and I, like, you start shitcoining, right? And then you find the truth, right? And the way that you find the truth is what we say in Spanish, te da un coñazo, which means you hit yourself really hard, and then you pick yourself back up because you lost money shitcoining, and then you find the truth, which is Bitcoin, right? And the reason we point this out so much is that hopefully we'll help some people find the truth. Of course, as Bitcoin, and you're never going to get rug pulled when you have Bitcoin. You buy it on exchange, put it in cold storage, preferably you buy it peer-to-peer, that'd be even better, right? And then you put it in cold storage. End of story, right? That's the way to do it. You never get rug pulled. Avoid all the shitcoinery and all that BS. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily Meme Review, sponsored by
Citadel 21. All right, everybody. The meme for today is brought to us by Gideon O. Powell. But the thing that I would like to point out is we reviewed a meme by a sitting president, and that was named Bukele. And now we are reviewing a meme retweeted by a sitting U.S. senator. And of course, that is this U.S. senator that spoke at Bitcoin 2020. That is Cynthia Lummis of Wyoming. And of course, she says, yes, all y'all are always welcome up my way. A friendly competition where America wins. How great. I like that attitude. Anyways, the original meme or tweet was, now that China's out of the picture, it's Wyoming off-grid versus Texas. And of course, they're talking about mining. It's all American. So I don't care who wins during this golden era of Bitcoin mining glory. And then he tags Cynthia Lummis, Ted Cruz, Greg Abbott, and Governor Gordon. And this is amazing, right? And the tweet says, hashtag Mo Power, American Bitcoin miners. And what are they referencing? Of course, they're referencing, you know, the China Bitcoin ban and how Bitcoin mining ban and how that became a major opportunity for the rest of the world, specifically in Texas and in Wyoming. Why? Because Texas has so much natural gas, right? And you could use that excess natural gas to mine Bitcoin. Anyways, I had to do the explainer because it was by Cynthia Lummis, so all that. I had to give some context, more than I usually do. Anyways, I'm tired of Phil beating me with gadgets, so today I'm going to give it a gadget too. This is, ladies and gentlemen, before you start asking questions, this is a bank. This is a Raspberry Pi 3. This is going to replace a bank. You could make this into a bank, and it's very cheap. Anyways, of course, when I say bank, a Bitcoin node, essentially, you are the CEO of your own bank. Phil, what about you?
That's a pretty good score. I feel like I've given a Raspberry Pi board before, but we don't even know what we have left at this point. You know what? Yeah, in the spirit of this meme, I am going with my Black & Decker screw kit.
I feel like I got screwed.
The drill kit. That's right, the drill bit kit.
You screwed me on the score, dude. God damn it. I thought, you know, I was like, I got a gadget this time, and he had a tool.
But now you have something. Now you can install a second node.
Yep.
Now you know what you could do. Now you could lay down an embassy node, right? And then you can put the all the good software that they have, like Bitwarden and the password manager and all that good stuff.
Oh, cool.
And encrypted chat. Yeah. See, so that's way that way you have one node for your appliances, right? Like your utilities. Then you have your other node for Lightning and Bitcoin.
Should we? I feel like we should call them banks just to piss off banks.
Probably should just call. We probably should just call them banks. You're probably right.
How many banks do you own?
But let me ask you this. Though, are we now degrading these devices down to banks?
We totally are, but I think that we should call them banks anyways, just to piss off the banks, you know? Because I know it's going to get under their skin, and they're going to write an article like the Financial Times where it's like, stop calling
this Fiat. This is not a bank.
This isn't a Fiat isn't a meme, bro. You know? I feel like they're going to come out, it's like, banks aren't nodes, banks aren't rest, you know? Like, I feel like we might have something there. I don't know. Just an idea.
But isn't it funny that they decree that it's not money by decree? It's so ridiculous, right? It's like, stop saying that it's money by decree.
It's not a joke. You have to take it seriously. Like, you know, that's when they're But anyway, Phil, it's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by
Crypto Cloaks. It's new digital money or digital gold.
Mayor Jayson Stewart says he has a plan to put that digital gold in the hands of every Cool Valley resident.
I would like to see every single household in my city receive some level of Bitcoin, whether it be $500, $1,000.
Okay, so remember what I told you about the incentives of Bitcoin, right? This is part of it. And of course, remember, we've been talking about judicial arbitrage so many times, right? And how some jurisdictions are going to be hostile towards Bitcoin, while others are going to see, right, that if you adopt Bitcoin, right, it's much better than trying to fight it. Fighting it, Bitcoin is very expensive, my friend. But anyways, if any one of you wants $500 to $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, that could be a lot of money one day. You could move to Cool Valley, Missouri, and shout out to their mayor, Jayson Stewart, for kind of pioneering this idea. But it's not only Jayson Stewart, and I also want to give a shout out to Documenting BTC that does an amazing job documenting BTC and posting these videos on his Twitter. We've invited him on the show, but he doesn't want to come because he's too busy documenting BTC. But anyways, it's not only Jayson Stewart, it's also Mayor Scott Congers. He still has the goddamn laser eyes.
This guy, man, he's a trooper.
He's a trooper, so you could tell.
If anyone watches our show, please respond to my tweets. I sent you, well, no, to my message. I sent you a DM, like, I don't know how many months ago, and you don't respond, but, you know, it'd be cool if you come on our show and talk about Bitcoin, because that's what we do.
Yeah, we talk about Bitcoin. We have to get Megan to start, like, being our publicist and start calling people, because
she's the Meg of this show.
Yeah, Megan, you hear that? Okay, Meg. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Anyways, as goddamn Megan. Okay, as the Fed so he posts, as the Fed continues to print more money. This is the key that I want you to pay attention to, right? As the Fed continue to print more USD, this chart will continue to rise. Bitcoin could be the present, but is definitely the future monetary system. After 21 million, there isn't any more. Right. So there you have a sitting U.S. mayor essentially saying that the Fed and the USD is a scam. Right. And then you had the previous mayor, which we played to you. Right. And he's offering the incentive of people to move to the city, the Cool Valley, Missouri, and they'll give them $5 to $1,000. It's pretty freaking dope. And before I get your thoughts, Phil, I just want to get this image because it's hilarious. It's by Wall Street Silver. Inflation, what inflation, right? And this is what is called hidden inflation, right? Where they keep the prices the same, but the candy bar keeps shrinking every year. In this case, it's toilet paper, right? Here you have it, 2020, 425 sheets per roll. In 2021, right, it looks the same size, but if you pay attention to the devil's in the details, 380 sheets per roll, right? Phil?
Nico, come on, man. You're still getting 30 rolls. There you go. I just applied Francis Coppola logic. Right there. It's Francis Coppola, 30 rolls, man. But it doesn't matter that there's somehow less sheets. No, 30.
If you divide the rolls, you could have enough rolls for everybody.
There's enough toilet paper for everyone, Nico. Forever. Okay? Just forever.
Oh my
Anyways.
I finally got blocked by her, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I said Bitcoin would ruin her socialist dreams. And for some reason, because I've said many things to her.
She finally noticed?
That is what got me blocked. It must have gotten under her skin or something. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, I forget. I got blocked after, I think it was, I tried to help teach her Lightning. And I tried to talk to her about Bitcoin and like just doing a simple transaction. And I even offered, I'm like, listen, I'm like, if you want, we could do this in DMs and this and that. And, you know, yeah. And then she blocked me. I was like, hey, look, I was like actually trying to be helpful. And it's funny, like people were giving me crap, you know, like, what are you wasting your time for? I'm like, why not? She wastes our time. Right? With all this ridiculous narrative and all this garbage that she spews at Bitcoin, this nonsensical stuff.
It's ridiculous. And Jack Dorsey is kind enough to warn us by giving her a blue check mark, of course. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate it. But
I don't remember even what the articles were that we were looking at anymore. I'm so sorry.
No, it's about different mayors across the U.S.
Oh, that's right. Saying that people should people that he wants everybody to have Bitcoin. So that's an interesting thing, right? So like the city would be buying Bitcoin and then distributing it out?
I guess, but that's a hell of an incentive, dude.
It's a very interesting, that's some interesting gameplay. And I wonder, right, like, would that all of a sudden start to incentivize a whole bunch of people to start, you know, practicing low time preference activities, right? Because they're going to think, well, Bitcoin's price, you know, will continue to go higher because fiat has, you know, no printing end. So maybe I just, you know, change my lifestyle so that it lasts me longer. Who knows? Who knows? You know, it's very interesting. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? They did this fiat social experiment, and look at what happened to us. I don't see how it could be any worse with the money actually retaining its value and us actually not getting screwed on the work for the time that we can not get back. Like I could see this working out really well for us as individuals, not very well for the institutions that rely on printing this money.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I completely agree. That's a really good take. But anyways, Phil, check this out. Very hopeful stuff. I wear the sweater. It says I, but we told you so. Again, we covered this, and we actually called this a couple days before. Let's get to it.
Are you wearing another one of those mini pins that we can't see?
I am. It's the Zeus. It's the Zeus Lightning app.
You guys and the small pins.
I know, big pins. Rick's working on it. Anyway,
yeah, big pins. Here we go.
Rick from Crypto Cloaks. Check out CryptoCloaks.com for the best 3D printed Bitcoin merch. That's really cool. Check it out. Anyways, Nigeria's diaspora may have switched to Bitcoin and shitcoins as official remittances fall by 6 billion. So, yeah, you know, and we played you a video on Saturday of Jack literally sending money for free to Nigeria without paying any fees. I wonder why people would switch to Bitcoin. I wonder why. Maybe it's something about not having to pay any fees and it being instant. Maybe it's something about that. But anyways, let's check out the article. Is Nigeria, it's so funny how they frame this, is Nigeria's rich and tech-savvy diaspora using Bitcoin and shitcoins to circumvent a struggling Naira? What they mean there, right, is are people using Bitcoin to help themselves rather than help the state? That's what it means, right? I'm just translating it for you. They send money home to support family or invest. Okay, so think about it this way, right? You want to send money, right? And you don't want to pay the 30% from Western Union. You want to send it to your family. What are you going to use? You're going to use Bitcoin. Why? Because it doesn't cost you anything. Anyways, the Nigerian central bank seems to think so. It is even launching their version of a shitcoin called an e-Naira to compete with Bitcoin. Good luck. Not going to work. Why is it not going to work? Because you guys are going to want to print more of it. And Bitcoin has absolute scarcity. 21 million forever. Period. Tough luck. Anyways, you guys are, I love this line by Phil. You guys are going to actually have to provide value. Anyways, Diaspora remittance inflow into Nigeria declined by a consequential 27% to $17.2 billion, down from $23.5 billion last year. The steep decline was $4 billion more than the projection by very evil people at the World Bank. Right. So again, you know, this is a small victory, and I have another news article also which shows even more victory. And again, victory besets victory. And this is just essentially an article covering the trajectory of what we've been saying these past couple months. Why would you use Western Union if they cost you more, right? And you actually physically have to drive to an actual location, right, where you could just be comfy at home, sitting on your couch, and you get an instant payment, no fees, right? Think about it. Just drop Bitcoin for a second. Just think about it from that logical perspective, right? But I love how the article frames it like they need central banking. Central banking is essential here. How could they go about this? This is so effed up, you know? But it's like, man, are we in for a hell of a fight? But anyways, that was a very hopeful article. Phil?
You know what? It really makes me think of the argument for the reduction in friction. So, like you were just saying, now all of a sudden, let's say you live in a neighborhood that's, you know, not exactly really that safe. You know, you're, you know, maybe single mother, whatever it is, and now all of a sudden, you know, you got to head over to the sketchy Western Union, or not even the Western Union's being sketchy, right? Just the sketchy area where the Western Union is located. Now all of a sudden, you don't possibly have to, you know, risk, you know, some violence or something like that. You get to do it, like you said, from your couch. That reduces friction, and by reducing friction, we enable commerce. Okay? This is not something that I'm making up. This is what cell phones did. This is what pagers did. This is what the internet did. This is what Bitcoin did once upon a time as well, way at the beginning, which it is still doing now, but in a much bigger way.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So before, back in the day, it was the dark markets and stuff like that, you know?
And it's just crazy how like the article treats it as like, we want you to pay that Western Union tax, like, you know, like these remittance companies, you know, it's like, what the F is wrong with you people, you know?
So you should pay a fee, right? So you should pay a fee, and you should possibly also, you know, in some cases, right? Not, you know, like not trying to be hyperbolic, but in some cases, maybe risking your life, or, you know, risking some type of violent behavior or something like that.
Because it helps the state, because you're using the state. It's like, man, the logic is just so effed up. Anyways, another we told you so Bitcoin moment. Check this out. We covered Afghanistan, and we said that when the Fed and the United States stopped supporting Afghanistan, essentially, if you put the Taliban aside, of course, that would affect the people of Afghanistan. And the people of Afghanistan would be incentivized to use something like Bitcoin. Why? Because it's the only way they would be able to receive money or wealth from overseas. And you know what? That's exactly what they're doing. Crazy. Anyways, let's check out this article from CNBC by Mackenzie Sigalos. Anyways, inside Afghanistan's Bitcoin and shitcoin underground as the country plunges into turmoil, right? For many Afghans, this week has laid bare the worst case scenario for a country running on legacy financial rails. I like her. A nationwide cash shortage, closed borders, and a plunging currency and rapidly rising prices of basic goods. In some ways, it's a perfect test case for the usefulness of Bitcoin and other... Wow. Bitcoin and other shitcoins. She was nice enough to differentiate the two. Shout out to the author. But anyways, let's check out the article. For Farhan Hotak, I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly, isn't your typical 22-year-old Afghan. In the last week, he helped his family of 10 flee the province of Zabul in southern Afghanistan and traveled 97 miles to a city on the Pakistani border. Now, it's what I told you. Bitcoin gives you the power to not only vote with your wallet, but also your feet. Why? Because you could take all of your wealth with you, right? You could pick up and go, right? Rather than having your money in a bank, right? And you can't do that. You have your money with, you know, not your keys, not your Bitcoin, not your wealth. He also has been keeping a very close eye on his Bitcoin and shitcoin portfolio on Binance as the local currency touches record lows and nationwide bank closures make it next to impossible to withdraw cash. Again, Not your keys, not your Bitcoin. Not your keys, not your wealth. In Afghanistan, we don't have platforms like PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle. So I have to depend on other things. Bitcoin. Afghanistan still mostly operates as a cash economy. So money in Hotak's Bitcoin and shitcoin wallet won't help him put dinner on his table. I disagree with that tonight. But it does give him peace of mind that some of his wealth is safeguarded safeguarded against economic instability at home. We told you this 3 days ago. It also offers bigger promises down the road, access to the global economy from inside Afghanistan. What do you have to say about that, Steve Hanke? Huh? With that BS article that you wrote, what do you have to say about that? Do you not want Hotak to have access to the global economy because of the country he was born in? What are you, a goddamn modern slave master?
Anti-humans, dude. They're just anti-humans.
Totally, dude. It's crazy. Certain protections against spiral inflation and crucially, the opportunity to make a bet on himself and a future he didn't think was possible before learning about Bitcoin. Wow, that sounds very hopeful in a country that doesn't seem so hopeful right now. It's crazy. The article goes on to say, run on the banks. For many Afghans, this week has laid bare the worst case scenario for a country running on legacy financial rails. A nationwide cash shortage, closed borders, a plunging currency, and rapidly rising prices of basic goods. We covered this last week. Many banks were forced to shutter their doors after running out of cash this week. They ran out of cash because the Fed said, and stopped their account, that stopped Afghanistan's account that they had with the Fed, right? Photos featuring hundreds of Kabul residents crowding outside branches in a futile effort to draw money from their accounts went viral, right? This is where Bitcoin plays a huge part. We called this. We said this is exactly what was going to happen last week, right? And it's not because we're very smart. It's not because we do tons of research. It's about Bitcoin gives people a shot to survive, right? They don't have another option, right? And you see it there with that 22-year-old Afghan where, you know, he has the tech savviness to understand that there's a way to opt out. Right? There's a way to put your value, your wealth, your time, your energy into something that can't be debased and something that someone else doesn't hold, right? This is what we're talking about, Steve Hanke, and this is what you're fighting against. Every time you write an article about El Salvador, this is what you're criticizing. You're criticizing not allowing people to save for a future because of the place they live in. You're an evil ass motherfucker. Period. That's just the truth, man. You're exactly what Phil said. You're anti-human, right? I read that article, and again, even with all the things happening in Afghanistan, somehow the orange light of hope of Bitcoin is shining right through, right? It's absolutely incredible, Phil.
Yeah, you know, like, I mean, this is what people don't get. And I get it, right? Like, some people could sit there and get all upset, you know, and be like, well, you know, there's terrorism and there's this and that. And it's like, listen, at the end of the day, right? Somebody, you know, regardless of the money you use, people are going to exchange value to do whatever it is that they do. And they should be judged based on their actions.
But wait, Phil, hold on. The terrorism argument is BS.
Of course it's BS. That's my point.
The U.S. left $80 billion of equipment. We played you a video of the piles of cash. So it's like, dude.
No, I know, but this is my point, right? Like, everything should be based on your actions. This idea, right, that like somebody in a certain country that doesn't play along and circle jerk the central bankers isn't allowed to partake in the world economy. This is like psychotic, evil nonsense for no reason. You know, like it makes no sense whatsoever. It creates narratives of enemies out of thin air for nothing. It's so strange. I find it so strange. You know, like you would think that people would want to cooperate in order to have access to more resources. Like, it's just the weirdest thing. And the reason why this happens is so that these people's resources can be concentrated and controlled by a very small group of people. That's the only reason. Okay? This is, to me, like, this is why people get excluded out of the financial system, so that they could be used and abused and made slaves. So the people inclusive in the financial system are used and abused as slaves in a different way, right? Absolutely. And these people outside of the system are abused and used as slaves in another way. Anyways, it's really disheartening. And you know what? This is what's fantastic about Bitcoin. This is why we get to say fuck you to these people. You know what I mean? And this is why they can just sit there and cry harder.
Yeah, and they are. They built themselves a cage, right? Thinking that it was going to keep competition outside, right? And this cage essentially deems 60% of the world, because of the place they were born, unbankable, right? They're going to drown in that cage, okay? And the people that leave the cage, right, and decide to join our side, it's much happier over here. You can come to our side, right? So it's like, man, like, F these people, man, they're modern day slave owners. That's what they are, right? And of course, Bitcoin has better incentives, right? It's an open network. To borrow what Jack Mallers always says, and open networks always be closed networks. Man, I'm so excited for the future, man, of Afghanistan and Nigeria. And literally, because of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is giving that hope to individuals, and that is phenomenal. But anyways, Phil, there was a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. All right, we've got Blue Wallet version 6.2.3 that was released. It's not a red wallet. It's not a purple wallet. It's a blue Bitcoin wallet, and it can also be used for Lightning. Check it out down below in the show notes.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. I didn't write anything too embarrassing, so Phil would read it.
Good. Good flow today.
There's a border. You know, I crossed it with the Rihanna thing where he didn't want to sing the song and I had to do it. So I had to step it down a notch, you know. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the weekend recap, you know what to do. Smash that like button. And of course, if you want to continue hearing the catastrophic fails from the modern day slave masters, the fiat economists, and the shitcoiners, and of course the Bitcoin news from the pleb perspective, definitely consider subscribing, and we'll see you tomorrow, guys, for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.
Bitcoin allows us to be humans again and actually provide value to each other.